All right, so let's see how to send email. So let's just do something really simple. Let's do email. Let's do type, and let's do message. So let's do, I'll send all of these to myself. But what I'll do is make sure I can understand where they're coming from. So I'll do plus test at, the type we'll do is 1, and the message is you're a loser, and we'll do a runquist plus test2. So anytime you have an email address, a Gmail address, you can always do this plus trick. So if you want to sort of invent extra weirdo type email messages, you can do this plus. So put in your normal email address and then do this plus. You can put anything you want after that plus, and it'll all come to you, but you'll be able to tell what email address people thought it was. Let's make this type 2 and say you're a winner. Okay. So what you want to do to be able to send emails is you want to go to this extensions, and you want to go to AppScript. So that loads this nice development environment where you can do, it's JavaScript, but it's not that hard to learn. So just going to wait for it to load here. And the first thing, I'm just going to build this all in this my function. So we'll just do it here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to pull in the spreadsheet. So name a variable, I'll call it spreadsheet equals, and I'm going to do spreadsheet app dot get active. So that just grabs the spreadsheet it's attached to. And the sheet is going to be ss.get sheet by name, and the sheet name is sheet1. Copy. So that's how you grab the data from, or grab a sheet, and then var data equals sheet.get data range dot get values. Oops. So that'll just grab all the data. So the problem is, I don't actually care about the top one. I really only want the stuff after the header file. So what you can do is you can say top, like the top row equals data.shift. And that way, it shifts it. Shift means to strip off the first thing and stores it in top in case we ever want it. So now I'll just do logger.log data. You'll see what the data looks like. So I'm just going to save this and run it. And the very first time you run it, it has you approve that the script you wrote can gain access to the things that you are trying to give it access to. So this is a pretty powerful script. It's grabbing things from a spreadsheet, right? So I'm going to say review permissions. And it's only slow this first time. It's usually lickety-split after this. So only the first time is this a problem. So I'm going to say, yep, my account, please. And I'm going to say, it's saying this will allow this project to see, edit, create, and delete all your Google Sheets spreadsheets. So I'm writing the script, so I trust myself. So I'm going to say, sure, why not? And then once it runs, then it actually runs. And so it grabs, it has the first row, the second row, and you can see that JavaScript uses square brackets for arrays or lists of things. So it's grabbing them. OK. So I don't care about showing them anymore. And now I want to run through them. So I'm going to say data.forEach. So it's going to run through it. And you can just give it a name. I'm going to call it D. So each, well, I'll call it row. So the row is going to come in. And then inside of the forEach, this arrow just means, OK, take the row and then do a bunch of crap. So whatever I put in between these brackets, it's going to do anything I want it to do. So let's make a message. So I'm going to call it HTML equals. And then backtick lets you put in special things. I'm going to say, this is an email for, let's see, I want the row, I want the 0th thing in the row. So that's going to be, the 0th thing is going to be the email address. OK, that's fine. This is an email for that, period. Let's see, you are type $row, I think that was the next thing. And so your message is row 2. There. So just a dumb little email that I can build that way. I called it HTML because you could actually put some HTML stuff in here if you wanted to. So I could come in here and I could put in a paragraph and end the paragraph here. And then put in a new paragraph here and end that paragraph here. So there's a couple of paragraphs. So I can put in HTML. Now that I've got it, I'm going to send an email. So I'm going to do mail app.send email. And what that wants is a dictionary. So dictionary is keys and then values. So let's see. The 2 is going to be row 0. The subject, I'm going to call it cool email for $row 0. So that'll be the subject line using the backticks like that. And then, go away. Let's see. The HTML body is going to be the HTML. So boom, that will send, in this case, 2 emails. So let's see if it works. I'm going to hit run. Now, because I'm asking it to do emails, I have to give it more permissions. So I need to, again, you only have to do this once. It has diagnosed that you're trying to do a special thing. It's going to check to make sure you're OK with it. So again, only on the very first time do you have to do this. Come on. And it says, so we already knew about that. And now it can send the email as you. So I'm going to hit allow. It says successful. And execution started. And it's already done. OK. So now I'm going to pause, because I don't want you to see my emails. I've got a bunch of email that I don't want you to see. I'm just going to pause for a second. OK, so now it's going. So this was the email. It came from me, and it went to test. And it says, this is an email for, it knew it was an email. And notice it's 2 different paragraphs. And it worked right. You are type 1. And then if I go to the previous one, here's the second one, right? You are type 2. And your message is, you're a winner. So that's really it. So very, very straightforward. You have to grab the data. So these 3 lines are just grabbing the data. You have to tell it, hey, I want access to a spreadsheet. You need to get which sheet you want, and then you grab all the values. Then I just tore off the top row. I ended up not doing anything with it. But then inside the for each, so I'm just going to go through every single row and send a nice little email. And so sure enough, the email sent. And I will tell you that if I looked in my sent box of my email, I would see them there. So it really feels like you sent this email. I think if I go to the header, you might see some more interesting things. Yeah, so this shows up. So people can sort of tell that you used a fancy script to do that. If you look at a regular email, it doesn't say mailed by maestro.bounces.google.com. But most people don't look at that stuff. They really think that it came straight from you as though you typed it.